Hi everyone, this is Nicole. Welcome back to my channel and another paper crafting video tutorial for STAMPtember 2024. Hello card makers, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel and another paper crafting video tutorial. Today I'm super excited to share the STAMPtember limited edition exclusive for the 24th day of September. It is a 2 for today. We have Altenew, beautiful stamp set, coordinating dies, coordinating sentiments, obviously a floral, what Altenew is known for. This is called Azalea Bunch, so pretty. And also Trinity stamps today with a wonderful Christmas scene and coordinating dies. Now, you might be thinking, am I going to create two completely different cards? Well, they don't go together at all, except today I thought we would do something very technique driven instead of theme driven. So we're going to take these with some of Tim Holtz's newest alcohol inks. We're going to create beautiful alcohol ink backgrounds. We're going to do the lift technique with the lift ink and create elegant cards even with Trinity stamps. And this is what we're going to create today. This trio of beautiful card designs. And there's that Christmas tree. Aren't these fun? So if this sounds like something you're interested in, stay tuned. So here are some of Tim Holtz's newest colors. I also have a little dropper bottle filled with alcohol. I prefer that over blending solution. I have the blower, which is my favorite tool for alcohol ink work. And then I have a glass mat that I'm going to be working on today so that I don't make a mess. Plus I have some Yupo transparent paper. And I chose to do transparent today so that I could do a fun layering technique, but you could also use regular paper, glossy paper, Tim Holtz's alcohol paper, anything you like. My first trio of colors that we are going to combine today are Juniper, Wilderness, and Chronicle. And they're going to work together to create a pretty fun background. I'm going to add just a few little drops of alcohol to help move it around a little bit more. And I am working on the full size, I think these are 5x7 I can't really remember, sheets of the translucent, Yupo paper. And that's because I want to pick and choose the best area to be able to stamp my image. We are going to be die cutting this down after we do the lift technique, but I kind of prefer working on a larger piece of paper and then being able to pick and choose exactly what area I want to use. Then I am using my blower to kind of help move this around. You can see, and then you can even tip your paper a little bit. The glass surface is fantastic for being able to pick up your cardstock and move it around. I don't do anything crazy with my alcohol inks, really. I kind of just play with them. I find that if I tend to get too crazy, I end up making a mess and not really loving my results. So I'm going for very simple here today so that I have a good surface or a good area to do the lift. I'm going to add in a little bit of these lighter colors though and just kind of blow them around and blow them in a little bit. It's one of those things where I get started. It's super, super fun. Do remember to work in a well-ventilated area. Okay, I'm going to set that aside to dry and we're going to work on the blue background. I have Bayou and Yonder and then a gray called Flannel. So my first two backgrounds both feature 3 colors worked together, and then my third background is only going to have 2. It really is up to you how many. You could just do 1 if you wanted to and then dilute it with some alcohol, and that will give you some nice variegation in the color. Oh my goodness, this is so pretty. And you'll see I'm just blowing it back and forth. do be careful with the blower. When it's super wet, it could splash like on your clothing. I do wear my crafting apron when I'm creating, but I do try to be very controlled with the blowing. I know I've sped it up so it looks like I'm not, but in real life, I'm being very controlled and slow with it. So there is my background there. And then I wanted to show that I completely messed up my background and I was able to salvage it. So I added lots more rubbing alcohol to this because I was going to do droplets, but I'm actually going to save that and do that near the end. And I was so happy that I was able to fix this because I was really mad at myself when I did that. That's one of those things where you're playing with the rubbing alcohol and sometimes you can almost go too far with it. And I did. Okay, I'm going to lift that up and we're just going to set it aside to dry. I would recommend letting your backgrounds completely dry. It won't take very long. It does evaporate quickly. For my final combination, we're going to use Cosmopolitan, say that 3 times fast, and Brick. And these are great together. I actually really love this. I saved it to the end because I thought it would be my least favorite. I think it might have been my favorite. Truly, so pretty. And I decided, don't go over the top here. Just be simple with it, Nicole. And that's what I did. Okay, so we're going to clean up the work surface. I have a little rubbing alcohol in a bottle and I used my cloth, or a paper towel, pardon me, with that to clean that up. Next, I am going to take the Azalea bunch image from Altenew. This is the STAMPtember 2024 limited edition exclusive. It comes with the beautiful floral, tons of greetings, and then dies for the floral bunch and then the 4 large size greetings, which is amazing. We're going to use the greeting stamps or dies today, but not, well, we're going to use the stamps too, but we're not going to be using the flower die for this particular technique. Then I'm taking the Tim Holtz Lift ink and it is going to lift the ink. So I am tapping the alcohol lift ink into the design and then pressing it into my Yupo paper. Then you want to take a dry paper towel and you want to dab up that ink. So I am dabbing, making sure I have a clean area. And once I've dabbed that up, I'm just going to buff that across the surface of the design. And it's like magic. It is so amazing. You don't want to start off rubbing though, because it can smear the image, which I have done before in the past. And we want to do this for all of our backgrounds. So what I like to do is take that image. So here we're going to use the Trinity stamps image. And this is called the Little Christmas Tree. And this would be a very fun image to color as well, but I wanted to see if I could take something that I would consider more cutesy and turn it into something a little more elegant. And you totally can, which I think is kind of fun. I love all kinds of different card making, and so this is a very fun way to change that up. I found my favorite area and I stamped that, and I'm going to let it sit for a minute. I like to let it sit a minute, and then I take a clean paper towel and I'm going to dab. Just again, same technique. You want to dab it and dab it and dab it until you get most of that lifted up. Check your paper towel and then move to a clean area and go ahead and buff that. And it's like magic again. It comes to life. So, so, so pretty. Love this so much. And I also did my blue background exactly like this red one. Now in my spatter box, I did put a little rubbing alcohol and I'm using a paintbrush and I am doing some spatter. Now you're going to see instantly, it just starts making some fun spatter on the backgrounds. There's my blue backgrounds and my Christmas tree. And I, again, let those dry. And then I used a basic rectangle from Simon Says Stamp to die cut the alcohol inked area. I also die cut a white rectangle from white cardstock, and I used the postage edge frame dies from Simon Says Stamp to die cut a mat for this. And those are my 3 backgrounds. I'm going to take the white rectangle pieces now, and I have a couple of different background stamps I'm using. For both the florals, I use the UR background stamp with black ink. I'm using the archival black just today. It doesn't matter, any black will work. And I want this text background. For the third background, I'm actually going to use the Falala from Hero Arts. It's a Christmassy background. Does it matter that much because you're not really reading it? No, but I just wanted to show that you can totally use any kind of text. Because we used that's translucent paper, you can see the text through the background. I always love text on my cards or over backgrounds, as you guys probably know. However, I did not want to stamp over the top of my backgrounds. You could with archival ink if you wanted to, or even lift ink if you wanted to. But for this instance, I really just wanted it to be a hint showing through the back so it didn't take away from the beautiful lift ink image. Okay, I'm going to go clean up my stamps and things, and I am back. I decided for the Christmas tree image, we're going to try to utilize some of the leftover red space around where we die cut our red background. And you can see there's like some pinks and some reds, and I thought, well, let's try to get some presents. I did die cut or do the lift ink, so I stamped the bow and all three of the presents from this, but I did only end up using the 3 presents, not the bow. And you'll see why. I had thought I might put the bow up at the top of the tree, but changed my mind. You could stamp the ornaments from the stamp set as well multiple times and hang them on the tree, but I opted to use gems today instead for a little bit more of an elegant effect. This is a great way to utilize those leftover pieces if you die cut or trim down your background like I did. So again, I've stamped them with lift ink. Let's go ahead and do this last present in the pink area. I think that's Cosmopolitan. I love it. I love the names. And then I'm going to do the same thing with a paper towel. We're going to dab and lift up, and then we're going to buff. So I'm just dabbing all of these first, lifting up as much of that ink as possible. You can see they're starting to come to life. And then buff. And there we go. There is our beautiful outline. This is a very quick and easy way to create a fun design. Okay, so now I'm going to take the coordinating dies, and we are going to die cut those pieces. Now for the background of my card, I didn't want to keep it white, and I am a huge fan of monochromatic, as you guys might know. So I decided to take this reverse crackle background from Simon Says Stamp and 3 shades of ink, positively saturated ink, and we are going to ink up our card front. I already scored and folded my card fronts, and I just carefully placed it in my MISTI with the reverse crackle background. And for this first one, I am stamping night ink right over the front of my card. You could also do this on a separate panel of cardstock, but I was trying to save the extra cardstock pieces and just use my actual card base. You're going to want to make sure that your mat is clean before putting any of your card bases in here, because you don't want to get the back of your card messy. Oh my gosh, look how good that's going to look. Huge fan of background stamps. I love them. So you can see I cleaned up my mat, and we're going to switch to the next color, which is Kale, and that's going to be for our Christmas tree background. I could just sit and make a whole assortment of backgrounds with this reverse crackle background. It's one of my favorites because it ends up looking like this really fun crackly pattern paper, and I love it. Here for it. So we're going to just pop that one out carefully. Look at that. And finally, we have Brick. And I did save the red for last because red tends to be so messy, as we all know. And I am going to stamp that right over the background, trying to get nice, even pressure. Now, I know I'm covering up a lot of this with my panel, but I love that little peak of crackle around the edges, which you'll see here in a minute. Beautiful. Oh my goodness. Okay, on a scrap piece of white cardstock now, I am taking my sentiments for all 3 cards. So I have the Merry Christmas from the Little Christmas Tree set, Hello Friend, and You Are Loved from the Azalea Bunch set. And I'm going to stamp those with the same, I think I'm using the Black Soot archival ink. It was still out on my desk, and I want it to be a black sentiment. That's going to tie into the black that we used on the white cardstock for the text backgrounds, and I think it keeps it nice and simple. I also think like a gold embossed or silver embossed would have been pretty. Now I'm going to put foam on the back of my greetings, and we're going to place that on our translucent alcohol and lift inked background. And I do have it overlaid on that text. Look at the text peeking through. I love this. Now, one of the things about the translucent cardstock is maybe attaching it to your card. Could I put glue back behind it? Yes, absolutely. But I kind of love the idea of the front panel being loose. So I'm going to glue my text panel to the postage edge panel, like so. Then I am going to just layer my translucent piece on top, and I'm going to use the grid on my mat to find the center. And you can see I have it flipped upside down so that I can mark 2 little holes here up at the top. If you were going to make this a tag, which I did use these 2 dies for my Mama Elephant STAMPtember release as well. I've kind of been on a kick using some older product from my stash. Hopefully it inspires you to go to your stash and find some older favorite products as well. Good basics are always good to have on hand. And I am now going to take some of this gold twine. This is from Spellbinders. I love this. And I'm going to triple it up and thread it through the holes, starting through the front and going through to the front again. Full disclosure, I could see that I messed this up and I was like, oh. So I am going to fold this, triple fold it, and thread it through. Now, don't be me. Fold it over so that you don't have those raw ends. I think I do it correctly on camera here in a minute. I did get smart after this one and figured it out, but that way it's easier to get through those holes. But what we want to do is come through to the front and tie this into a pretty bow that decorates the top. You could use ribbon, you could use any kind of twine, lawn fawn twines, whatever. I liked these gold and silver because I feel like it kind of adds to the elegance that I was looking for these particular cards. Oh, I love it. So pretty. Okay, we're just going to snip up these ends just like so, and look how pretty that's going to look. So I'm going to put some foam on the back, and then we're going to attach it to our card base. I love the color in the background, and see how that's loose, and you can just move it and see the text back behind, which I thought was kind of fun. Now I have some gold gems from Spellbinders. These are the gold mix that I'm going to add to this panel. I picked different ones for each. Obviously the red and the blue backgrounds are very similar since they use the same background stamp, and I very much made them like one another, but keep in mind that you could do it in any color you like. Absolutely any color. I just really wanted to play with these new Tim Holtz alcohol inks, and I wanted to do something different for these cards. And sometimes I forget about the alcohol inks and what a great effect it is and how beautiful it makes cards. Another way to use your stamps, any stamps that you might have in your stash. So I went ahead and did the blue background. I did use the silver twine for that, and I used the silver mix gems. And now I'm going to do the Christmas tree card because it is slightly different than the other two. Obviously, it was a different stamp set, a different greeting. I did use a sentiment label die to die cut my phrase since it didn't come with a coordinating die for that. There's coordinating dies for all of the images. And we're going to mark the top of this and punch our holes with the crocodile just like before. And this is why I chose not to use that little red bow that I did the lift ink for, because I was going to put that at the top of the tree, and then I decided, you know, I think we want to continue. I want to be able to attach this panel to the background with my same gold twine. So we're just, see, I folded it over. Now it goes through so much quicker and easier. I got smarter as we went along. And then we're going to decorate the tree and put our presents down underneath. And of course, this time I did choose the red gems from Spellbinders, and we're going to decorate the tree with those red gems. So instead of the stamped ornaments, we're going to have gem ornaments, which I love. And I kind of didn't trim those the right length. There we go. Okay, so there is our bow. There's our background. Let's put our foam on the back just like before. That's going to lift this panel up off of the background beautifully. Move my cards out of the way. And it's pretty right now, but now it's going to be wow. Once you add these red gems, it just makes it a wow Christmas tree. So I am using a combination. I did start with the second smallest size gems, and I started just hanging the ornaments, decorating the tree. And we're going to do that, and then I'm going to add the presents. I'm going to put a little liquid glue back behind the presents, and we're going to add those down around the base of the tree. And then after we do that, we're going to take the teeniest, tiniest gems, and I am going to add a little extra ornaments to the tree. So there's a couple of little different size red gems. And as I looked at it, I really felt like it needed a lot of ornaments. You'll notice I put glue on the back of these translucent pieces, but I dabbed it with my finger so it was a little bit smoother. I didn't want it to be gloppy and show through. And now let's go ahead and add a few additional ornaments to finish decorating that tree. Look how cute they look down there. And it really does make it look more elegant as opposed to cutesy. Nothing wrong with cutesy either, but I wanted to show another way to utilize any stamps or dies that you may have in your stash. As always, with my Stamptember projects, I hope to inspire you to maybe use things that you have in your stash in different and fun ways, even if you don't pick up the limited edition exclusives. Remember that the limited edition exclusives are limited, so once they're gone, they are gone. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for the Altenew and Trinity Stamps Stamptember 2024 cards here on my channel. The supplies I used are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye! Thank you so much for joining me today for another paper crafting tutorial. I love being able to share with this incredible community of crafters. I want to give a huge shout out and special thank you to my amazing Patreon members. If you're interested in joining Patreon, please click the link in the description underneath the video here on YouTube. Patreon is a private community where you can support more of what I do. There is exclusive content, information, and behind-the-scenes content. Top-tier members will receive a handmade birthday card during your birthday month, access to D-Stash, and monthly exclusive lives, plus so much more. We would love to have you join our growing community. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel, click that like button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to always be notified when I have a new video. Thanks for watching!